Hey, how you doing? Good morning. All right, thank you for coming out. I'm just getting here. And we were resolving some scheduling issues. Apparently, I'm signing autographs and making commentary on something at exactly the same time in different rooms, which really plays on my split personality. You're never alone when you're schizophrenic, you know. So anyway, I'm Paul Niemeyer, so if you came in the wrong room, that's that's who I am. Maybe you want to go see whoever you're supposed to go see. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the beginning of video games and my experience there. I started at Bally Midway in 1982, and I worked there from 82 to 84. And after the big video game crash of 83, we all got kicked to the curb, and then I ended up freelancing for Bally Midway and making like way more money than I was when I was working there, which kind of ticked me off a little bit. You know, the very first job I made about twice what I would have made if I was working there. I thought, well, you bastards. Anyway, so let's start at the beginning. How I got the gig. I was working at a little sign shop in the southwest side of Chicago, designing all kinds of signs for, like billboards along the highway, everything from there to, Joe Blow's pet store, and everything in between. And a buddy of mine called up, and phone rang. It's a friend of mine. He says, "Hey, what's the matter, man? I'm gonna come around to 12 with some Puerto Rican girls in town to meet you." I can't take that phone call. I'm at work, right? So phone rings again. It's a friend of mine. And he didn't do that. He said, "Found an ad in the paper describing your dream job." I'm like, "Really? Bally Midway? Whoa, you're hitting on all cylinders here. Wait a minute, what is this?" "Yep, ad in the paper, go down and check it out." "Cool, I will do that." So, about an hour later, phone rings. It's a friend of mine. Didn't know the other friend. Says almost the exact same conversation. "Found an ad, man. It's like describing you as like your dream job." "Okay, universe, I'll go. So that's how I got the gig, sort of. Called them up, went down for the interview, and well, first of all, I had about a week to get ready for the interview. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I was so excited I got the interview. So now I'm like, okay. What am I gonna put in the portfolio? I gotta show them. What am I gonna show? Can't show them these stupid signs. That's boring. Okay. What do I do? I know. I'll finish those 20 paintings I got at home, right? So I got all these paintings, and they're all like, the state of, almost done, not quite done, sort of done, nearly done, pretty much done. So I was working feverishly till like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning every night, putting together this portfolio, working hard. Well, what pieces can I show? Okay, some sci-fi stuff and some fantasy stuff, and make sure you get that, and make sure you got some graphics in there. I'm overthinking the whole thing, totally. And so I get it all together, and I go to the big interview, and I'm all jazzed, and I can't wait, and I get in there, and he opens up my book, and it's, Okay, thanks. Oh, F. My dream job just went down the toilet. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? That's it? "Yeah, thank you. Well, we'll be in touch." And I thought to myself, they're not in touch. They always say that. Bunch of bull. They're not gonna call me. They called me. But not before they made me agonize for 2 days, okay? Moping around. "I get this job. I really wanted my old high school in the toilet." Whiny little crybaby that I was. So they called me up, and I got another interview. And I thought, oh, they must have changed their mind, or whatever happened there, I don't know. So I get there, and now there's like 6 people in a room. And my portfolio's like, they're taking it apart, and they're moving all on the table, and everybody's walking around, pointing and talking, and asking questions, and all right, now this is more like it. So then they said, okay. So I'm thinking, yeah, the job. No, we're not giving you that yet. One more interview. Okay, so a couple days later, come in for an interview, and there's like a dozen people in the room, including George Gomez and Paul Ferris and Craig Ferris, and who ended up being my bosses and working, George Gomez. Geez, how much more famous can you get, that guy? An awesome guy, totally awesome guy. So during the interview, I'm looking at the end of the table, and there's this guy, and he's like kind of staring off, he's looking over the stuff, and he's not really kind of paying attention to me at all. And I'm thinking, he must be one of the execs from Midway that screwed up and got sent down here for his punishment or something, because he didn't seem like he was connected to it, And later on, it turned out to be Paul Ferris, who was my boss, And if you guys know Paul Ferris, art god, just an amazing guy, amazing talent. Have you ever seen pinball games like Paragon and Lost World, and it's fantastic artwork, right? Okay, so if you know the artwork, you're nodding over here. That's cool. The muscle-bound guy, that's Paul. Oh wow! It's a self-portrait. He always does self-portraits. and the hot babe laid out his feet, Jen, his wife. And look at every game he did. It's him and Jen. I swear. He's they were into bodybuilding. They look great, And Paul, just the greatest guy in the world, really. He was the best boss ever. Later, after when I became a boss at times, I kind of modeled my bossness, can you use that word? I'm making up words. My bossness after Paul, because he was just such a great guy. He was one of those guys that cared about the troops, when you get marching orders, he ate what you ate, he marched what you did, he was one of those guys, Perfect example, I remember my desk was in a place in the department where I could see everybody come and go. And one day I'm working at my desk, and the door flies open, and it's Paul. He's all pissed off. And he's got that look, that bulldog look on his face. He's going to just run toward a wall and put his head through it, So he goes out to the center of the room, and he goes, "Come on, everybody!" We're going, "Oh crap! What fresh hell be this?" So we all waddled over, and he goes, "Okay. Just got back from a meeting with the boys upstairs, and they're not happy that everybody's putting your names on the artwork and sneaking your initials into the artwork. They're not happy about it. So here's the thing: you guys got to be more careful, okay?" If you're gonna let this happen, you just gotta be sneakier. That's all. You guys are just, being too blatant about. Now he blatantly signed his name on everything, and they needed his ass, so they were kicking him out. But he was the only one who could get away with it, So and they figured, well, we'll come up and rattle his cage. The boys upstairs were gonna rattle his cage and send him down to us. So it was so funny. Yeah, you just got to be more careful. Here's the formula, okay? You gotta sneak it in somewhere where they won't notice it, and then if it gets to production, it's too expensive to go backwards, right? So it stays on there forever. So, and I did that a lot, like Satan's Hollow, I stuck in there, but where I really probably screwed up and shouldn't have done it was on a PacMan Plus. I should not have done that. I got my wrist slapped big time on that. I thought I was gonna lose my job, actually. They made it sound like it, but I think there was more, let's just rattle his cage a while and see what happens, So, I was 24, so, I was kind of cocky and arrogant, and I kind of wanted to get my name out there, and I thought this was a good way to do it. And so I tucked my initials in under Pac-Man's elbow, real tiny, P-E-N. Isn't that cool, pen? An artist with initials, pen? Mom, Dad, way to go. Nailed it, totally. I don't know, yeah, were they thinking that out? I don't know. Yeah, but wow, that worked out. Okay, so I snuck pen in there, and it went to production, and now they don't go backwards. Oh, I got the finger wagging. a little wrist slapping. Oh, you bad boy. Which I thought helped my reputation, actually. Bad boy, you say? Cool. It didn't make any difference after that. Nothing actually happened on the bad boy thing. Except for in my mind. Yeah, question already. Oh, yeah, sure.
Who found it under PacMan's elbow?
I'm sorry, my hearing is horrible.
I think he was asking who found it under PacMan's elbow, who discovered the...
Some pain in the butt. Somebody screwing with the concept. Who knows? You know, okay, you know what? That's a very poignant question because it speaks to the fact that nobody knew more than they absolutely, positively had to. And maybe this is a really good time to bring up like the security issues that were at Valley Midway in the day. When I started, like my very first week, you know, I'm trying to figure out who's who and what everybody's name is and who's in charge and who to suck up to and you know, who's ass to kiss, right? You know, I was ambitious, like I'm not gonna deny that. I was definitely ambitious. And there was a guy that everybody, I don't know who this guy is, but man, he must be the dude. Because he walks around here like he owns the place, and they're all like, hey, ooh, well, there he goes, you know. So I thought, get to know that guy. So on the very first Friday, you know, see you Monday. All right, bye. So Monday came along, and he wasn't there. In fact, he was at Atari. He had cleaned out his files and his desk, and showed up at Atari, working there, and all hell broke loose. And it was my very first week. And right then, everything kind of changed. We all had security cards. And now, you remember, this is 1982, okay? And I had a security card with a magnetic strip on it, when nobody even knew what the hell they were. I've never seen that before. How long was it before credit cards had, you know, back 82, we were still doing the impression, you know, if you're old enough to remember, you know, running the stupid thing over a credit card to get the impression of the card on a ancient technology, you know, from the Roman era. So anyway, we had these cards with magnetic strips on them, and they changed the access code every month. Like, it was like working at the Pentagon. It kind of was, and that's how you had to do that to get in the building. And then, if you wanted to use the elevator, you had to have a code to get to, like, if you want to go talk to Brian Cullen about something, you know, you had to have the code for the game. You'd put that into the code on the elevator, and it would take you up to the second floor. And nobody went to the third floor. In fact, we named it Black Ops, because we had no idea what the hell was going on up there. I remember one time, I was riding the elevator, and the door actually opened on the third floor, and I was kind of like, what the hell? This has never happened before. Some glitch, I guess. You know, I didn't do it. And I remember it was just a long, dark corridor with a ton of lights and computers, and somebody sitting at the end who was sitting, and then also like kind of went, like he sensed there was someone on his floor, you know. And he slowly turned, and then the elevator's door shut, and that's my only knowledge of the third floor. Okay. Who knows what was going on up there? I do not want to know. Okay, so it was crazy working there with the security issues. So I was kind of low man on the totem pole. When I first got, I was actually hired by Midway, and there were just three of us, really. Rich Graffiti was my boss, and then Larry Dabeck and me. And they decided to combine the Valley Art Department and our little Midway happy group. And when they came over, I think everybody over there kind of thought that we, the Midway guys, were like the production artists. You know, nobody expected anything out of us, and we were just there to kind of pick up, you know, whatever needed to be picked up and take out the trash and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I thought, oh no, this isn't going to go well. Okay, when they first came over, my first reaction was, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm working with the Valley Art Gods. I'm literally like in the next cubicle, Doug Watson, whose pinball game I had skipped classes to go play in college. We used to put, that's where I really got my education, was playing pinball in the student union. And we'd go and go to class, wait around for the roster to get done, and then sneak out and go to the union and play pinball. And that's really where I got my education. So here I am, I'm like in my dream job, I'm like fanboying at work. We didn't have the word fanboy back then, but I was fanboying. For about a nanosecond. And then it dawned on me, I am certainly going to be taking out the trash in this group, that is for sure. How do I shine? How do you shine in that, And these guys are all like 6, 7 years of experience doing, killer pinball games and, all this amazing artwork, and here am I, nobody, and I'm doing production art. That's okay. So my very first job, I got, I must have shown some sort of aptitude. Paul Ferris assigned me to TRON. So I know. So I thought, oh man, I'm in the shit. I'm working on TRON, man. Okay, even though I'm only doing the color separations. Okay, I shouldn't say only doing the color separations. You've seen TRON? Yeah, okay. That was like surgery. It was surgery. It really was. Think about it. Every little tiny line, this line has to be red. And the one right next to it, this far away from it, has to be blue. And the one next to it right is green. Oh my God. And you have to hand cut. I want you to keep in mind, hand cut all of those for the entire machine. And it was the first time I'd ever done color separation. And it turns out it was like probably the most hair-raising, experience doing color separations there ever could have been. So talk about baptism by fire. That was definitely the place to have it at. But in the long run, it was good for me because, if I did a good job here, well, that says a whole lot. If I do a bad job here, well, then it also says a whole lot, So I made sure I did a good job. I stayed late and worked on my, worked on my own if I had to, came in early. I was, again, ambitious. And so that worked out real well. And but like a little front story on TRON. So when we were announced that we're doing TRON, they told us that somebody from Disney was coming out and going to show us the movie. Okay. Now with TRON was a weird thing in that when the movie came out, they wanted the game out in the lobby. So that people, when it came out of the movie, they wanted to play the game. So that rarely happens where they develop a game and all the spin-off stuff at the exact same time. Usually a movie comes out and then they decide to do a game off of it and then toys and how that all works. And then you get the McDonald's prize when you come to the drive-up window, right? Which, by the way, Pat McMahon designed those for years after he left Bally. For about a dozen years, Pat McMahon worked for a place called MB Sales, and I did a lot of work there too, where he pretty much prestigiously designed all the McDonald's giveaway toys. Yeah. Oh, for years and years. For all through the 80s and 90s. So anyway, back to TRON. So we came out of that meeting going, we are the shit, we're seeing TRON, for any of you guys get to see it, So the day came, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and the Disney guys here, and they're setting it up in the conference room, and we're going, should we make popcorn? Trotting on down to the Doug and I. And of course, not without, laying into everybody on the way, see you in a couple hours, baby, I want to TRON, man. You're like, up yours. So I went to the conference room. Guy puts the tape in the video cassette deck, which is the size of this table. And there's like, I would say light cycles and this and what the hell's that thing? And flash, 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 bang, 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 over. What the hell's that? And he's over there hitting rewind and taking the tape out. Whoa. Can we see it again? No. But you flew all the way from LA to show us 30 seconds of spliced up, and he's looking at us like, yeah, idiot, shut up. Like the look was just, I got a plane to catch. 30 seconds, you could have mailed it. Oh no, then we would have watched it twice. I get it, I gotcha. Okay, I see how it is. So now we're like, we gotta walk the gauntlet, don't you? We gotta go out there and take crap from everybody that we gave crap to about seeing the movie. Which of course they lovingly laid into us. Oh, Disney cutting back on the production, are they? That is about, 5 minutes out of it. Kind of a short little film there. Must have been just stunning, huh? Awe-inspiring 5 minutes worth? Shut up. So that was my introduction to TRON. So did the work on TRON, did a good job, and Paul must have been paying attention to that. So I ended up with a Super PacMan after that. And the artwork they provided was so crappy, it was unusable. So I had to actually redraw everything for Super PacMan, which is fine, that was great. Then I can kind of say, well, it definitely was, I didn't design it, but I definitely illustrated it, and literally from scratch. And then that worked out real well, and I must have done that in record time, because all of a sudden I had PacMan Plus sitting on my desk. And I was like, okay, great. And Paul Farrow said, hey, they want the words exciting, new, and plus in the PacMan font. And I went, okay, great, where is it? And he goes, that's the thing, it kind of doesn't exist, and you kind of need to do that. So, for all intent and purpose, I'm probably the creator of the very first Pac-a-bet. Only because we had to, It was like, okay, we got P, A, C, M, and an N, and we're missing 21 letters, I see. So, and now keep in mind, hand-drawn, no computers. We're using any computers at all. So everything is hand-drawn, hand-done, hand-cut. Oh my God, I look back at it now and I'm like, what? Who had the patience for that? Oh my God, the patience of a saint to have done that stuff. Well, what I had was the ambition that I wanted to be, like the art gods. That's what I wanted to be. So I figured I had to claw my way to the top of that pile, and I didn't, so any job that came by, I jumped on. But I'm still looking for a way to get myself known. How am I going to get myself to, to shine in this group of art gods, And the solution came to me in their ineptitude. I took advantage of their ineptitude in that they had it in their heads, the boys upstairs in the ivory tower, that the only good game was a Japanese game. Because it had so much success with Pac-Man and Space Invaders, they just thought, if we want a game that's going to kill it, we gotta go to Japan. So they took huge fistfuls of money and just tossed it at the most stupid games, unbelievably stupid games that I had to make artwork for. God, half of them, they weren't even fully designed. The rare time I actually got to go and play one of these little test games, it had like 7 racks on it. And like, where's the rest of the game? That'd be it. How much did he pay for that? $1 million in 1982 money. Ouch. Okay, yeah, you're back there nodding. Yeah, no shit. That is so corporate. It's corporate thinking. Right, unbelievable. You assemble a department of some of the most talented people on the planet. And then you put together, a second floor of some of the most talented programmers on the planet. And then you go to Japan to throw money at stupid games that are poorly designed because you had this mental breakdown thinking that's where the success lied. Well, all these games came in and they all needed to go out on test. So they needed header art. We had like a generic control panels we'd throw on stuff, and we'd have generic boxes that we put all the games in, but it needed a header, So there's where I saw, ding, light bulb, this is where I can make my big splash. So I volunteered for every game that came down the tubes. Because I figured if I could just whip out some really cool graphics, you know, and get my bosses, because I had to go past my boss. Everything had to go past my boss. I figured, okay, if I'm doing these, and you get like 2 or 3 hours to do these. So, you know, here's the thing, I always kept a morgue file, and everybody did. Let's say, for instance, you had a game and you had to draw a robot. So you wouldn't just draw one robot and that would be the one. No, that never happens, you know? You draw like 4 or 5 robots and maybe we'll go, yeah, take the head from that one and this one, and that one looks too much like a Cylon, and put this over here, and you know, and that kind of stuff. So you'd end up with your robot for the game. Well, you got 4 other perfectly good robots here that you haven't used. In the morgue file to go. You know, so one of these games that come along, I need a robot. Guess where that's coming from? You know, and at that point they're like, oh my God, he's pulled this stuff out of his ass. Look at this, 2 hours and he designed these robots. How do you do that? Oh, indeed. Suckers. Well, but that was it. I mean, I had a plan, you know, and I remember we would sit around and just, you know, sketch spaceships and, you know, demons and, you know, aliens and robots and what have you. You know, everything. Hot, metallic, chromy babes. You know? Why? Because Soriyama did it. It's working for him. I'm doing it too, you know. So I had a whole morgue file full of this stuff, which was awesome because I used every bit of it, and it was just great because I mean these games would come in. I remember one time there was a game they're going, it's out on the loading dock. I'm going, they can bring it in? No, it's out on the loading dock. Go out there, take the header off of it, and that's as far as it's getting. Yep. You're not playing it now. What's the name of it? Zodiac. Okay. Well, anything about the game? There's a robot. Oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Guess where that's coming from? The morgue file's getting dog-eared at this point. Getting a lot of use out of the morgue file. But it propelled me to a new place over at Bally. That was a lot of fun doing all of those. And of course, everything went past my boss. So now, I've done a number of these, and I'm hoping that, you know, I'm being noticed, somebody's seeing me, somebody's, you know, catching on what's going on here. And sure enough, Paul Ferris comes by my desk one day, and he's got an arm full of blueprints, and just tosses them on the desk. And he goes, how'd you like to do a game? I'm like, yeah, now we're talking. Cool, well, who am I working with? And he goes, you're working with you. Really? Cool. What's the name of the game? Satan's Hollow. Now, a little background. I grew up on a dairy farm in a little tiny farm town of 850 people called Grant Park, Illinois. Ironically, we were the Grant Park Dragons. I swear to God. How crazy, right? That I grew up and did the Mortal Kombat, you know, artwork, and our high school mascot was a dragon. It is kind of wacky. Even I gotta go, what the? Okay. Anyway, farm boy, little town, Germans, Niemeyer, das ist eine deutsche Name. A German name, okay, just by that, okay, we still the Lutheran church that had the German service, okay, that's how conservative and narrow, oh my God. And my first game is Satan's Hollow, huh? Great. Hey Mom, guess what? No, I'm not gonna tell the mom that. It took me 10 years before I told my mom. And even then she made the, you know, Satan? Church lady, right? But mom, you're fighting Satan. You're like killing his demons and doing the right thing. And of course her reaction then was, Satan? We're just stuck on Satan, aren't we? Okay, don't get anywhere with this. So so when I'm doing it, there was this weird paradox in that I was so proud of this game and I'm doing all this work, and I'm like, okay, I want to tell everybody, but I can't. Because they're going to go, you shouldn't work on a game called Satan's. Okay, whatever. So, anyway, did Satan's Hollow, got it done. It was out for a couple months. And, and something else, on the control panel, I don't know if anybody knows that, I did these gargoyles. And I only had 3 colors to work with. And quite honestly, I thought I was thrilled. Because I find myself more challenged by constrictions. I have 3 colors to work with. Well, I'll make those 3 colors work. I'll do something fantastic. It's like I designed it around the 3 colors, as opposed to designing it and then trying to make the 3 colors work with it. I designed it to work with 3 colors, and it did. So I had these gargoyles on the front, and my compatriots in the department had nicknamed them the shiny leather chickens. And at first I was like, oh man, they're all making fun of me. And then I realized, you're in, dude. They're making fun of you. You're part of the group. If they weren't doing this, they didn't like you. They wouldn't say anything, So that was, suddenly I was like, oh my God. I get to hang out with the fun kids. I'm eating lunch with the cool kids. All right, man. So about 5 minutes after that, Paul Ferris came by my desk, and he's got a handful of letters, and he just tosses them out. Ooh, were they nice? Nice cotton bond. Ooh, gold stamping on them. They were beautiful. And I said, what's this? And he was, oh, you're famous. You got hate mail. Well, that's how we judge it, man. You get hate mail, you're famous, baby. How do you know you're famous? You have famous enemies. So I'm like, really? Sure enough, Jerry Falwell, Jim Baker, what's his name, Tilton, the guy that goes off and speaks in tongues. Oh my God. Letters from him, and a couple other minor TV evangelists, but oh my God. And they were all pretty much the same. You're going to hell. And everybody that you influence with your evil game, you person who does bad things, person. Ooh, it's hurtful. Right to the bone you're cutting, man. Ooh. Oh my God. So we passed them around. Everybody ended up at my desk. Oh, everybody's reading the letters, and we're dying. We're just dying. And I'll tell you, I would give my left arm to have those letters now. Oh, I wish I had those letters. They were priceless. They really were. I think Paul probably collected them up. Oh, they were too much, too funny. So hate mail, yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny. And so after that, I did a whole bunch of games, WACKO and Spy Hunter, and what else did I work on? Professor Pac-Man, the unicorn of Pac-Man games. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, just a lot of fun. All right, I see we have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. So anybody got a quick question or any thought? Yeah.
Did you have any input in the WACKO cabinet, which is just a weird shape?
How about it? Was that nuts? Yeah. Okay. And I gotta say, for 40 long years, I thought Brian Colin was responsible for that, and that it was all his artwork on there. And so here's the thing. I'm illustrating somebody else's characters, and I had to be faithful to them, but I had to put my own, twist on them. What I didn't know is that I had a pretty long, extensive career in the ad agencies. That's really how I made all my money after that. And that's pretty much how everything's done. Is somebody hands you this artwork and then you illustrate it. But at the time, this was the first time I'd ever doing that. Okay, so it turns out it was somebody else's idea. I had no idea. Brian and I were doing an interview less than a year ago, actually, like a tandem interview, and I started talking about, I want to be faithful to your characters, and he goes, those aren't my characters. Oh, what? I go, well, that crazy game you didn't design the game. Wait, what? Well, it was in a nutty cabinet you had. Did not design the cabinet. Who the hell did? He goes, he didn't even know. He didn't know. 40 years, I thought it was his stuff. It wasn't. The only part of it was his. Was the Captain Cruiser character that was the main, he was the main character. I guess because it was the main character, I assumed all the other characters in the game were his too. They weren't. He'd never seen them and didn't have any idea. And we didn't find that out until that interview. You know, so in the interview, you know, we're going back and forth going, wait a minute, that's not right. That's not how that worked. That was, you know.
And now we know what they did on the Black Ops floor.
There you go. Did not think of that. All right, we're at flat zero. That means I'm done. So thank you very much for coming and listening to me babble for a while. I hope it was entertaining. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for being fans. Quite honestly, if it weren't for you guys, it would just be a lot of like kooky, fun cartoons that nobody cared about. All right, you guys made it all, you know, something. Really, thank you. So.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and to the right are the playlist of the Portland Retro 2022 and some other interesting videos. Thank you.